Right, it's a very, very good morning to you, and thank you so much for watching Morning Live on this Wednesday morning, the 9th of August. It's Women's Day. That is why we're coming to you live from the former female prison in Johannesburg. We are at Constitution Hill this morning here in Johannesburg in Gauteng province. We're here really to look at the issues affecting women, just to celebrate this day as well, and also to commemorate the more than 20,000 women who marched to the union buildings back in 1956. But we are just going to fast forward to 2017 and look at the issues affecting women. We're going to be focusing in this hour at gender-based violence. I mean, we've seen the recent spate of killings, women killings in South Africa happening. We are going to be dwelling on that, but we'll also be looking at the issue of transformation of women in society as well as in the workplace. So here at Constitution Hill, this is a place that's got a great significance in the history of South Africa, of course, because many struggle icons, female struggle icons like Umam Uyinimadikiza Mandela, Fatima Mie, Umam Albertina Sisulu, and many, many others were incarcerated here back in the days during apartheid. Talking about gender-based violence, I'm joined now by Itumeleng Moloko from POWA, which is People Opposing Women Abuse. Just to look back, because as I said, this year we've seen a spate of killings of women and violence against them that shocked many of us here. So one such incident, of course, that many of you would remember is the brutal killing of Karabo Mokoena, allegedly so at the hands of her partner Sandile Man. So let's just reflect back and see how far South Africa has come in terms of gender violence. As I said, I'm joined now by Itumeleng Moloko. She's counselling manager at People Opposing Women Abuse, that is POWA. Ma'am Itumeleng, good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us here on Morning Live.
Morning, ma'am.
Now, POWA has been in existence for over 30 years. If you were to look back, how far have you come and how have you contributed towards eliminating violence on women?
POWA was started in 1979 by a group of women who were interested in assisting women that are affected by gender-based violence. They were referring them to the police stations and so forth. And it has developed from there to what it is today, where it has a counselling department, legal department, training department. We provide counselling for abused women. We've got shelters. We do a lot of outreach work. We do advocacy work in terms of making sure that women's rights are protected and women receive the service that they need.
And I'm looking at the figures now. The South African Medical Research Council, for example, they say 40% of men assault their partners on a daily basis, and that 3 women are killed by their intimate partner every day. How bad is the situation that you have to deal with on a daily basis?
The situation is so bad. I mean, women are killed every day. Women and children are killed every day. And this is an indication that we have a lot of work to do, to make sure that women are respected, the laws that are there to protect women are implemented, are monitored, so that we reduce gender-based violence.
Now, talking about the laws, I know that I read your statement recently that POWA says they're not happy with the work that's been done by police. Police are turning women down when they go and report such cases.
It's sad to say in this day and age we still have police officials who treat women like that. When women get to the charge officers, they are asked, to tell their stories in front of everybody. They are not taken to private places, where they can be assisted. Of course, not all police officers do that. They are turned away. They are told to go and resolve matters with their partners. There's negligence, in terms of handling cases. Dockets are sometimes missing. It's just appalling. We still have a lot of work to do. Police officers need continuous training and they need to be monitored. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, there must be a consequence to that, I think in our country, people have learned that they can just do as they please and get away with it because there's no consequence.
But have you consulted the relevant authorities regarding your concern?
Yes, we advocate a lot in terms of making sure that women are treated the way they are supposed to be. it's usually a long process, you know. I believe senior people within the government needs to buy into, you know, fighting violence on women, you know, because it doesn't help for us to complain and people up there in government that are supposed to make sure that, you know, they put pressure in terms of police officials or government officials implementing the policies properly are not buying into it. You know, everybody needs to come on board. You know, so we have contributed a lot as POWA. We have done a lot of submissions in terms of law reform to make sure that, you know, the policies are implemented, you know, to protect women. But it's a long process, you know, and everybody needs to come on board to make sure that we fight the same struggle. We're not doing this thing, you know, individually, so in our isolated, you know, spaces.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the cases that you come across on a daily basis. You do get women that are abused by their partners and they will tell you, no, I thought things will get better with time. Do you still come across such statements?
Yes, we do get such statement from women. Remember the way we are socialized, you know, women are socialized into being submissive, you know, into persevering, to preserving families. And sometimes when a woman wants to do something about the relationship, she feels that, you know, she's a failure and the society is judging the woman. You know, we talk about the cycle of violence where a woman will have hope that the perpetrator will change, and before you realize the woman is dead, you know. So women needs a lot of education, you know, empowered and support, you know, into realizing that once I take this decision to leave, you know, I've got support out there. Even when I go to the police station to go and report, I'm going to receive fair treatment and assisted in the manner that I need to be assisted.
Right. But just in conclusion, what do you think needs to be done to curb gender-based violence in South Africa?
Listen, we have nice policies, if I can put it like that. We've got Domestic Violence Act, we've got Sexual Violence Act. Our problem is implementation, you know, implementation of these laws and monitoring and evaluation to make sure that these policies are implemented the right way. Because when you look at police officials, you know, they apply these policies differently, you know, not the way they are supposed to. You know, we need, and the government needs to come on board in terms of putting in budget, in terms of making sure that programs are sustained, you know. Yeah.
All right. Mami Itumeleng, we'll leave it at that, but thank you so much for talking to us. That's Itumeleng Moloko, Counselling Manager at POWA, that's People Opposing Women Abuse, of course, talking to us about the recent spate of killings and violence, gender-based violence that women go through on a daily basis here in South Africa. All right, let's take a break here on Morning Live. When we come back, we are going to be speaking to a rape survivor. The woman that I'm talking about has been raped 3 times. Stay tuned for that story.